Well, the Canada Food Inspection Agency has issued another food recall due to salmonella, the latest in a string of recalls we've seen over recent months. So let's get into this with CTV National's Scott Hurst. So Scott, what are the dangers of salmonella contamination and who among us is most vulnerable?
Yeah, Nick, quite a concern. And let's walk through this latest recall first and talk about why it is a particular concern right now for a lot of Canadians. So this latest recall coming from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency over Eagle brand frozen corn sold in 1.75 kilogram bags. And that is the latest recall issued by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency to possible salmonella contamination. I should point out there have been no illnesses associated with this latest recall, but of particular concern right now because it may feel like you've been hearing the word salmonella quite a lot recently. Most of that is tied to the salmonella outbreak in cantaloupe, which is associated, Nick, with at least 7 deaths here in Canada. There was also a recent recall from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency over Quaker Canada products, a few dozen types of cereals and granola bars. And so that is why you're likely hearing the phrase salmonella quite a lot recently. And it is quite a concern for health professionals because there are a wide range of conditions. Short-term symptoms include fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. But those most at risk often get the most extreme conditions. And those include young children, pregnant women, older adults, people with weakened immune system. Now, most people recover from the immediate symptoms within 4 to 7 days without treatment. But if you are infected, Nick, or are concerned you may be infected, the best advice is to seek medical help or go directly to hospital. Many of the symptoms can be treated with antibiotics.
Yeah, it's pretty unpleasant, that's for sure. Scott, in the meantime, so how can we protect ourselves? Is there a way, if you can tell if your food might be contaminated?
That's part of the concern, is that you can't really tell if you look at a product if it is contaminated with salmonella. You can't do that kind of classic sniff test and throw it out if it doesn't smell good. You can't really tell if a product looks, tastes, or it'll look, taste, and smell normal, so you won't really know if the product is contaminated with salmonella. So the best advice right now is know the products that are being recalled, look them up to find exactly if a product you might have is part of that list. Make sure you know the size of the product and the expiration date as well to determine if it is exactly on this Food Inspection Agency list. Don't consume it, don't sell it, don't serve it if it is on that list, if it matches one of those brands, and if you're not sure of the source or you might be suspect about a certain item, don't risk it, just throw it out, Nick.
Best advice there. Okay, CTV Scott Hurst live again this morning. Scott, thanks for all this.